Hello everyone and welcome to Katharine's Q&A, episode 30. This is a series where you can ask an author pretty much anything, and that was my dog just pumping my tripod. Okay, today we're going to be talking about publishing essentials, and in particular ISBNs. What are they? Why are they important? How you can get them, etc. so on. So ISBN stands for International Standard Book Number. Every book is assigned one upon publishing, and we're going to be talking about who assigns them in a moment and the rights you can have for them. But you can find these numbers. Currently they're in sets of 13, though some of the older books you'll see 10, numbers of 10, and they're found usually on your copyrights page and in and around your barcodes of the book. But they're, like I said, very important. They're a way that people can search for your book really easily as well. And okay, so ISBNs, like I said, everyone is assigned one, or you assign one around the time of publishing your book. You can, as an author or a writer becoming an author, purchase them through several means. Each country has places you can get your ISBN. Actually, many countries are free. They'll give them out for free. Fortunately, US is not one of those. US, you can get them through places like Ingram Spark. You can buy them through Amazon. You can get them through. And then the big heavy hitter is Bowker, is the main one who assigns all the ISBNs. And I'm going to be talking about why I prefer Bowker in the US. Other countries, again, the people who manage ISBNs vary. Like, for instance, if you're in the UK, I think it's Nielsen is the big company where you can get yours. So depending on your country, you might have to search to figure out who provides your ISBNs and go from there, and you might be fortunate and be in a country where they are free. If you're in the US and you're going through someone like Bowker, just to give you an idea, prices do vary depending on the year, but I think when I looked a little bit earlier, if you get a packet of 10 ISBNs, that goes for $295. It does sound like a lot. They aren't necessarily cheap, but I'll get to why I think it's important to spend the money and go through Bowker versus one of the other options. Firstly, like I said, you can go through Amazon's program and have them assign you an ISBN. And I think it's like little or no cost to you if you go through Amazon, which if you're penny pinching and you're struggling to finance your first publishing project, I get it. I get it. But just understand, part of your ISBN is assigning who your publisher is. And if you go through Amazon, Amazon will be forever associated with your ISBN. And at least in the past, when people want to go wide, so publish through not just Amazon, but maybe Barnes & Noble and the Nook and Ingram Spark and etc. so on, and reach a variety of people, some distributors are very hesitant working with Amazon. So if they look at your ISBN, they can tell it comes through Amazon. They may not allow you to distribute through them. So be aware that might hinder you and limit you if you want to go wide. But if you are a person who just wants to go exclusive through Amazon and save a few bucks, by all means. I'm a person where, though I am currently exclusive through Amazon, I like having my options open, so I go through Bowker. And I will pay that much more just to ensure that I have rights over my own ISBN and I won't be hindered using my ISBN anywhere I go. Okay, now with that said, another thing to consider when purchasing ISBNs, every format you produce needs its own ISBN. So your ebook ISBN has to be different than your paperback, which is different than your hardback, etc. so on. So one book might have 3 ISBN, and that's why when you're considering your budget for a book, I would maybe start with a bundle of 10. And then you have at least plenty to associate to whatever format or formats you want for your first book or books. And then you can go from there. But that's a smart way to approach it. That's what I do. That's my recommendation. Take it as is. Okay. Now let's go into ISBN and explain the number system. So ISBN 13 is the way we are currently. I think the original system was ISBN 10. And the difference is the preceding three numbers, because they were always the same. They never necessarily needed to be printed, so you just put the 10 numbers there. Going forward, they kind of expanded, so now there are two precursing sets of numbers, and because of that, they print out the entire ISBN 13 number, and that's what everyone uses to search for books. And those numbers are 979 and 978. So when you look at ISBN, it'll either start with 979 or 978. And those are your just preliminary groups that kind of help you, if you know how to read them, understand what country, the country group providing it for your book. And then, so when you look at the ISBN, you'll see, like I said, different groupings of numbers separated by dashes. So the first one's that set of 3. The next one's usually independent 1, and let's say 1 or 0. If you're in the US, you'll see those a lot because that their ones and zeros are linked to English speaking books. So it helps you identify the language you're going to read. So in the US, like I said, in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and I think it's New Zealand, you'll all find a lot of 1s and 0s as that next number. The third grouping of numbers on the ISBN are your publisher's ID. Again, going back to how people can glance at it and tell if it's from Amazon or whatnot. That's this next group of numbers helps people figure that out. It also can help inform you, if you know how to read the system, how many ISBNs were purchased at the same time. So if you got a block of 10 versus 100 versus 1,000, that's all in this particular code. So that next group bundle. So interesting. And the 1, 2, 3, I think that's the fourth group now. You'll see 2 numbers together. And that actually is your specific number associated with your book. Not only that, it helps identify your exact title, the edition, and the format. So again, why I say it's important, because each ISBN format has its own, each ISBN has its own format and vice versa. Again, that helps people plug in. If you plug in ISBN and you want a hardcover, it's going to be different than your print, which is different than your ebook. And so those 2 numbers are going to be the ones that help people identify what format your book is in. And then the final number is, I think it's called the check-it number or something like that. And as far as I could tell, and unless anybody knows the answer that I don't, I think it's randomly assigned. Go figure. But there is a lot of information, if you know how to read an ISBN, of what the number groupings and what all that means. So it's kind of cool. Maybe a little too nerdy, but the numbers are important. And again, it's a great way, it is the way that people search for your book in online in many regards. Okay, so if you go through, we're going to go backtrack now, depending on how you acquire your ISBN. Again, if you go through Amazon, they kind of do the associating and linking for you. If you want to own the rights and go through, again, the big heavy hitter here in the US, which is Bowker, and buy your own bundle of ISBNs, you then go online on their platform, and I think it's called myidentifiers.com. And once you create your own, login, all your ISBNs that you purchase will be up there. And if you ever purchase more, they'll be put on there as well. And once you're on that platform, that's when you associate your book title and format to your ISBN. You do need to go in and put this information so they can say that the ISBN is assigned and know that's in use, and it'll be in their system and make it that much more searchable for people who do use the ISBN system for searching. Libraries use it, etc., so on. So it is kind of important to have that all assigned. Now, when you're assigning online, they're pretty much asking the basic information. Certain stuff is essential you need to put in, and a couple things you could add in for extra. For instance, the title is essential. Subtitle, not so much. They'll ask you if you want to plug in your description, so that book blurb, you have a place to plug that in there. You assign what language your book is in, again, what edition, copyright year, publication year. These are all information you can plug in just to make sure this assigned ISBN is as accurate as possible with this information people might be looking up online in the systems. There's a contributors section, which as an author, you plug in the author information or your pen name. You can put in your bio. So again, lots of information you could add in. Essential ones, and there's a section for format. So again, print and paperback so a paperback format has a different ISBN than a hardback format of print. So you assign all that there. You plug in the genre or the closest genre you can fit in. They're not a lot of options, but there's definitely the wide-ranging ones that you'll find, whichever major genre your book fits in, and you plug that in there. And you can upload the cover of your book. So there's a lot of information. Once it's in the system, again, when people use the system, and again, a lot of libraries use it to search your book, they can find all the information you've assigned online and help people find your book efficiently. But as an author, again, ISBNs are something you need to know. I recommend purchase them for yourself, though you don't have to. Each their own. You can have them assigned to you depending on the publishing platform you use. If you have any questions about ISBNs or anything else, you can message me in the comments below or post a question on any of my social media. And until next time, Skål.